Currently in our story, when we go through it, sometimes there's a slight flicker here on the text portion. And the reason for that is that when we instantiate the component, we actually set up the first piece of text as the main component, the default one. So let's delete that, see whether it still works. So the effect is better. I'm going to delete the update method in the dialog. So I'm on the dialog.dart portion here. Let's make sure it still works. Okay, it still works. This power that Galatrix and Orinda, her sister, have, it actually alters their appearance. So in the assets, although we're only using version 1 of Orinda, there's 2 and 3 as well too. Closer to when they were children. So there's only one Galatrix right now, but we're going to add another Galatrix in as her bond with the world and with Nakoa increases, her appearance will change. So I have another Galatrix 2 here. And we're going to add Galatrix 2 to the data. So if you look at them, Galatrix 2, she has a little bit more cosmetics maybe. She has some jewelry, and then by the time you get to Orinda 3, she also has some jewelry. So maybe looking a little bit closer to the world. Like they grew up in a castle that they knew as children. So let's go back to the data, and we'll just add Galatrix 2. Galatrix 2. And it would be the 11th scene with her reply on the marriage proposal. Let's figure out whether she's going to take it or not. Where are they? They're on the steps of suffering, where they're having their heart-to-heart about whether to continue their journey to find their sister, where they may die or retire to a life in the Valley of Fortune, where Nicole is from. But right now we'll just call it L1 S11. The dialog.dart file is where we are loading the characters. So we're going to need to create another sprite for Galatrix 2. Galatrix 2 sprite. And we will need to load Galatrix 2 from disk. Galatrix underscore 2.jpg, and we need a case for Galatrix 2. Okay, let's see whether we can get her. Whoop, there's an error. JPEG. Is it still giving the error? Maybe it'll work. So it's right up to the marriage proposal. and her appearance will change. I also used GIMP and added a transparent background to Galatrix Classic. So I'm going to switch it, see how it looks. So the original Galatrix sprite will be Galatrix original. WebP. Run Flutter pub get again. And we can make a decision as to whether we like it with a transparent background or whether it's better to have it like this. I think I'm going to leave at least Galatrix as the transparent background right here. Okay, she's looking good. So with a transparent background, we'll add Galatrix into the game, and we'll see how she looks. The loader is right here in the dialog.dart file. We'll just go WebP, and we will reload it. And so she's looking good. Let's give her response in the code. I cannot abandon Orinda. I am all she has. I will find her and we will meet you in the Valley of Fortune. Wait for me there. You can marry soon after Orinda and I return. Okay, so let's start building up our special effects here. I'm in the dialog.dart file, and we're going to create a variable. I'll put it here for the position component for the special effect. We'll call it special effect, and we'll have a position component. Oops, that has nothing in it initially. And then in the onload, we will add our special effect, but we will be able to change it. So put at the bottom, add special effect. So right now the special effect is blank, but let's just make sure it still works. Okay, looks good. So in the second scene here, she's talking about this monstrous power and she destroyed several rooms in the castle. So we're going to add a special effect here. We'll create a subdirectory for SFX because we'll have multiple special effects, and we will call it explosion. And the class explosion, which will be one of our special effects, will extend a position component. So if you look on itch.io, under the free, there's a number of these explosion packs, right? So let's look at this free pixel art explosion. And it doesn't exactly match the art style, but I found this one pretty easily. So, and it will show us how to use the animation sequence. So you could use any type of special effect that you wanted, but I think I'm going to use this pack here. So I'm going to download it. You can either pay them, or if you're just testing, you can go no thanks. It's fine. You don't have to feel guilty. I think if you really start using it, maybe pay them a couple bucks, but and then we can download it here. After you unzip it, actually I'm using this nuclear explosion. Although you could pick a different one. I think I might use this one for when she changes her character, like the look of her. Or maybe the lightning one. I think I'll start off with this nuclear explosion. So I'm going to grab all of them and drop it into a folder on my project. So I'm under Assets, Images. I'll create another folder for SFX. And in here I will create a folder for explosion because there's multiple sprite characters here. In the pubspec.yaml, we'll add it in. Assets, Images, SFX, and then Assets, Images, SFX, Explosion. So initially I'll just make it a sprite, or sprite component, not a sprite animation component. So I'll just use one of the frames of it. And then once we have some type of special effect added in, then I will add it to the, add it into a sprite animation component. Let's first set it up. So we will as game ref, and we want the Galatrix game in here because we want to get the size of the game. And we will put the anchor of the explosion on the center point to make it a little easier to figure out where this thing is. Anchor dot center. We need an onload method. All right, so we'll create a variable up here. So sprite component, not a sprite animation component yet. Explosion component. Sprite component. And we will load the the sprite. So I spelled explosion wrong. So explosion component dot sprite equals wait load game ref dot load sprite. Then we have the name of the sprite here. So it's asset/images is already built in, so we need sfx explosion, and we need one of the frames. So I'll probably take this frame 7 here for the test. Nuclear explosion 7.png. And we want the size of it to be some portion of the size of the full game. So we'll set size equals, size equals game ref dot size, and maybe we'll go divided by 1.5. Then we'll set the position (200). Basically, game ref dot size dot y. So the entire game over 2, so it's right in the center. Then we'll just add it in. So when she's talking about the power that got out of control, we now have the special effect, and it equals, in this case, explosion. Okay, there's some problems with the placement right now. Let's try to fix it. Go into the explosion. Maybe I'll put the anchor at the bottom center. Alright, so it appears to be aligned with now the top portion of the dialog box. So it's probably the effect I think that we want here. Probably a good size, a good placement. So I did change it to 50. And it looks like a pretty good placement. When you go to the next scene, it will it goes away because it's only specific to that one scene. And then probably when she changes appearance, I'll maybe have some type of lightning down here. But we'll cover the motion of the sprite component into a sprite animation component. So both the movement this way as well as the animation frames in the next video. And then we'll also decide whether he proposed to her. She's going to go. So I guess the expectation is that he's going to go with her, right, to get Orinda. But we'll see what happens in the next video.